Hello, everyone, and welcome back to day 2 for week 8. So, I hope by this time you have had a chance to print our test. I sent everyone an email with a scanned test, and so I hope that you were able to print that because for today, for segment 1, we are going to do the top listening part together. So I will guide you a little bit through that, and then I will ask you to pause the video and continue the test on your own. There are about three pages, but very short exercises. So first, let's get started with the listening part. And very quickly, let's skim the questions that we have here. So you will notice there are 4 multiple choice questions. So what are they talking about? Number 2, what is their relationship? Number 3, why do they need a hotel? And number 4, how do they feel? So take a moment to skim those questions and answers. And if you look at part 2, you can listen again. So after I record the listening part, you may want to repeat 2 or 3 times so that you can catch all of the answers. So let me point out to you, we have a chart here and 6 questions, and on the right side, you will notice cost. So for this, you need to listen closely for numbers, for money. So look for keywords, for example, Chicago, hotel room, and so on. So take a moment to skim a little bit there for part A on the listening. And in a moment, we will begin. Okay, so for today, for the listening part, I am going to read this for you, and I have asked for some help, an assistant today. So I'm going to invite my husband, Jeff, to come up, and he's going to read with me. So welcome, Jeff. Sorry, he's too tall. All right. So if you're ready, we're going to read for you the listening track.
Look, Kara, take a look at these cheap flights on the internet. There's a special discount to Chicago, $65.
Wow, is that $65 round trip?
Yep, $65 round trip per person. That's amazing. We could visit my brother. I haven't seen him in a very long time.
Oh, that's a great idea, but I refuse to stay with him. There are too many people in that house. Are there any discounts on hotel rates?
Let me see. Here's the Hotel Chicago for $99 a night.
That's not too expensive. But don't forget the room tax. That would be about $14 more per night.
Right, but that's not too much.
And there's food we have to eat, but we don't have to go to expensive restaurants. If we're careful, I guess we'll spend only about $150 on food.
That's about $500 for the weekend. What do you think?
Well, can your sister babysit Cynthia? If she can babysit Cynthia, you and I will fly to Chicago this weekend.
I'll make the reservations after I talk to my sister.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Okay, so I hope that was clear for you, and you may want to repeat that section in just a moment. Okay, now very quickly, before you continue, I will trust that you can go back and go to the beginning of this video segment if you would like to listen again to that audio. But let's quickly look at the test. You notice we have a grammar section, part B, below that. Complete the sentences use the simple present or future forms of the verbs. Okay, so think about some of the grammar rules that we talked about. And one clue is with the if conditional clauses, we need to use simple present tense. That's my clue. All right. On the next part, grammar, we see another grammar part B. What were they? Let me double check. Sorry, I went to the wrong page. Grammar part C. Complete the sentences, use the simple present or future forms of the verbs. Okay, so this exercise is using before and after clauses. So the same rule applies here, using the simple present verb tense in the dependent clause, and then the future tense in the main clause. So that's my clue for that section. All right, now let's look at the next part quickly. Reading part D. So you notice the title, King's World. King's World. So I will challenge you to look at the questions first. All right, as we always do in each unit, we skim the questions, and you will notice that there are yes, no questions here. So let's see the first question. King's World is open on July 31st. Number 2, general admission for a child under 10 is $55. 3, there are animals at King's World. 4, if you are at King's World at 9 o'clock p.m., you will see fireworks. And 5, if you don't bring a picnic lunch, you will not be able to eat. Okay? So yes, no. Try to look for these key words in the reading section. Okay, now let's quickly look at the last page. We see more grammar. So there are 3 exercises here for grammar. And the first part B, what were they doing at 9 o'clock last night? Complete the sentences, use the past continuous. Okay, so think about spelling, but continuous, what spelling do we need for continuous form? And look at the pronouns to help you choose the correct verb. Was or were. Okay? And if you go below to part C, grammar, another completion exercise, use the past continuous or simple past. So you have to decide which one is correct. Okay, so perhaps we will do one free answer, one freebie. Number 1, when the phone blank, comma, she, and then blank, dinner. All right, now, this is using past, so when the phone, we're thinking about 2 actions happening in the past, and we have to consider which is first and which is second. So I will give you the answer for number 1, and I hope this will guide you in the rest of the questions. So when the phone rang, R-A-N-G, she was cooking dinner. C-O-O-K-I-N-G. She was cooking dinner. Okay, so there are 5 fill-in-the-blank questions here. And the last one, let me clarify, because I mentioned to you at the end of day 1 that we would have a section with separable phrasal verbs. So this is actually from a previous chapter, but I wanted to give you a little section to challenge your memory a little bit. Okay, so let's look at the example here. We have fill in the blank, complete the sentences. Number 1, he's filling out an application. Which one is the phrasal verb? Okay, it's continuous form of fill out. Fill out the application. So if you notice the blanks, he's blank the application blank. So we notice that the object is in the middle. So you have to separate the phrasal verb. Easy, right? Okay, so we have gone over the quiz. I hope that you understand everything clearly. If you do not understand something, feel free to give me a text message, okay, with my phone number. I will probably see a text more quickly than an email, but I say to you, good luck, try your best, and let me give you a challenge. Because this is a test and I'm not with you in the classroom, so I need to trust you that you will not use the book or dictionaries, okay? So if you don't know a word, try to use context clues and take a guess, okay? So at this time, you may want to rewind or go back to the beginning of this video and listen to the first part with the listening exercise A one more time. And let's see, just a moment. All right. I'm afraid that at one point I made a small mistake. So I'm going to read this one more time without my assistant and just make sure that we read everything correctly. So once more, let me read for you and then go back and listen again if you like. Okay? Look, Kara, take a look at these cheap flights on the internet. There's a special discount to Chicago, $65. Wow, is that $65 round trip? Yep, $65 round trip per person. That's amazing. We could visit my brother. I haven't seen him in a very long time. That's a great idea, but I refuse to stay with him. There are too many people in that house. Are there any discounts on hotel rates? Let me see. Here's the Hotel Chicago for $99 a night. That's not too expensive. But don't forget the room tax. That would be about $14 more per night. Right, but that's not too much. And then there's food we have to eat, but we don't have to go to expensive restaurants. If we're careful, I guess we'll spend only about $150 on food. That's about $500 for the weekend. What do you think? Well, can your sister babysit Cynthia? If she can babysit Cynthia, you and I will fly to Chicago this weekend. I'll make the reservations after I talk to my sister. Okay, that's 2 times for the listening part. The second time, there were no mistakes. The first time, there might have been a mistake on my part. So good luck and try your best. So in the beginning of segment 2, I will go over the answers with you. So I will trust that before you begin segment 2, you will finish and take a picture of your test answers. Okay, so take a picture of your answers, maybe 3 pictures, 1 for each page, and send those pictures to my email, careywaldrop@gmail.com. Okay? And so I will see you in a few moments, and we will go over the answers for the quiz. Okay, see you soon, and good luck.